Hello my fellow Archons, and welcome to day 8 of KeyForge Christmas. As you can see, I have before you 3 Menagerie decks that I acquired at KeyForge Celebration 2023 last month that I wanted to share with you guys. For that event, I did open one of these decks, a separate 4th Menagerie deck on camera for you guys that had House Geistoid in it. But I just wanted to share these 3 with you to complete the Menagerie collection. So we have, what does this say? Stick, the Mistress of Valverka with Brobnar, Logos, and Shadows. And then over here we have Magician Zhang, or Xiang, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Some Chinese name or something. Puma Spell with Unfathomable Dis and Shadows. And then Drendine, Vault Friend, Sanctum Brobnar Shadows. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so starting off with Stick, the Mistress of Valverka. It has the Grumpus token creature. And then it also has the Dark Ember Vault Menagerie packet and the Leader Menagerie packet. And we'll get into what those are once we reach them. Subtle Auto, double. Miasma, double. Kerwallop, Hidden Stash, double. Bullet Eye, Johnny Longfingers, the Shadowsmith, Rad Penny, and Dark Ember Vault. So there's the Dark Ember Vault for that DAV packet. And then in the Logos, we have Titan Mechanic, Library Access, Helper Bot, Eclectic Inquiry, double. Armadrone, double. Seismo Entangler, Novu Dynamo, Jargoggle, Code Monkey, Honors Kesis. And then in the Brobnar, we have Ragnarok Prep, double. Gauntlet of Command, Ganger Chieftain, Fiery Jark, a new Brobnar card that says play, destroy an enemy creature and a friendly creature. You may repeat this effect as many times as you like, as long as it is possible to repeat the entire effect. So it's like the new Bouncing Death Quark at common as a creature in Brobnar, which is really, really cool. Drummernaut, double, so we do have the Gangernaut combo in here. Rickety Cybergiant at 11 power. After fight, deal 1 damage to Rickety Cybergiant. You've probably seen me mention this person, this creature, many, many times in my recent videos. I mean, just because he's so huge. 11 power, and the only drawback is after the fight, 1 damage gets dealt to him, so it's pretty cool. We have Plummet, this awesome new Brobnar card, uncommon. Discard your hand. Deal 1 damage to each creature for each card discarded this way. Lots of depth and potential with that card. Burn the Stockpile, Phoenix Heart, and then the Leader, Kalok Stonefather. So you'll see on the Archon card, we have the DAV packet and the Leader packet. So the Leader packet is just the Kalok Stonefather, and then the Dark Ember Vault packet is the Dark Ember Vault, but then apparently these 3 mutants here, the Johnny Longfingers, Shadowsmith, and Rad Penny, apparently those aren't technically in the Menagerie card pool, so they actually got pulled into this deck as legacies, as part of the Dark Ember Vault packet, which I think the DAV is what pulled these guys in. So we have the Johnny Longfingers, the Shadowsmith, and the Rad Penny, obviously really synergize well with the Johnny Longfingers, in addition to the double Subtle Auto. And then this Kerwallop has all sorts of amazing targets. So we have the 2 Subtle Autos. If the Dark Ember Vault is out, then there'll be 3 power, but if it's not out, then they're just going to be 1 power, susceptible to Kerwallop's damage. And then there's also the Helper Bot that can also die to it. So yeah, really cool stuff there. And then the Rad Penny as well can die to the Kerwallop. But I did get to play with this deck a few times at KeyForge Celebration, and let me tell you, it was so much fun to play. Especially this Logos pod was just absolutely cracked. Like double Eclectic Inquiry to set up for a massive library access play that almost undoubtedly will allow you to forge with Honors Kesis. Forge a key at +7 current cost, reduced by 1 for each card you've played this turn, including this one. So I mean, library access with the double Eclectic Inquiry and the Helper Bot, and then the Titan Mechanic to decrease the key cost on this Honors Kesis. Like, it's pretty bonkers. So this Logos is super fun. And then also the Shadows has the double Hidden Stash for even more archiving. The Dark Ember Vault lets you draw cards. As you see, after you play Mutant Creature, draw a card. So I mean, you're drawing from that. You're stealing like crazy with this Shadows pod. Got some good synergy with the Kerwallop, stopping keys with Miasma, discarding from hand with Subtle Autos. Like, it's just such a fun deck. Unfortunately, the Leader, I got like the worst Leader. Like, I mean, of course, Kalok Stonefather, nobody likes him. But then like Plummet is super, super cool. I'm always saying that. I'm always saying super, super cool, but I mean, it is. This deck is so fun. Gangernaut combo with double Drummernaut for some potential consistency, and a Gauntlet of Command. Double Ragnarok prep, so there is at least a little bit of token generation for this Grumpus. Good Ember control as a reward. Make a token creature, and then if you have more creatures than your opponent loses too. So yeah, this deck is a lot of fun. I absolutely loved this deck when I was playing with it. It did some really cool and strong stuff. But we won't linger too long. We got 2 more decks to go to take a look at. So without further ado, let's move on to deck number 2. All right, the second deck: Magician, Zhang, however you say that, Puma Spell, Unfathomable Dis, Shadows, the 2 forbidden houses right here. Disruption and Disruption, both combined. All right, let's get into it. So this deck has the fish token creature, and then a Menagerie packet called Total Exhaustion, and again, Dark Ember Vault. So I actually had 2 decks here with the DAV Menagerie packet. So we have here Umbra Fiend with the damage, Umbra Fiend again, so triple Umbra Fiend, and a Sacro Fiend. So all 4 of these guys have the Destroyed Steel 1 effect. Gold Key Imp, the Terror with the damage, Fear, double, Dust Imp, Buzzle, 3 Fates, Soul Keeper. Into the Shadows, we have Dino Thief, Vandalize with the discard icon, Subtle Auto with a double discard icon. This is the most subtle of all autos because he's discarding 3 cards at a time. Mutant Cutpurse, Francis the Economist, Avinda, Subtle Chain with the Capture, Hidden Stash, double, the Shadowsmith with the damage and draw, and Rad Penny, and the Dark Ember Vault with a discard. So again, we got these the same combination of creatures for this Dark Ember Vault. We got the Shadowsmith, the Rad Penny, no Johnny Longfingers this time though. And then in Unfathomable, we have Nightmare Inducer. Choose a card in your opponent's discard pile. Exhaust each enemy creature that shares a house with that card. Put that card on the bottom of your opponent's deck. Some pretty good exhaustion. Dirge of the Deep enhances a capture and double discard. Play, discard the bottom card of your opponent's deck. Exhaust each creature that shares a house with that card. Illusions of Grandeur. The Chosen One with the draw pip. Sybil Waymare, one of my favorite Unfathomable creatures from WoW. Ihaka of the Depths. After you draw a card during your turn, you may put the top card of your discard on the bottom of your deck. So a little bit of funky recursion there. Sunk Cost, Storm Surge, Nemo Leech. After Reap, if your opponent is haunted, steal 2 Ember, otherwise steal 1. Kelpminder with a capture. Echo Guardian, 1 power 4 armor taunt while you're haunted. He gets +2 power and gains poison. And then Dirge of the Deep again. I guess I forgot to put that one in its correct spot, but yeah, so we got some pretty neat stuff in this deck. Nemo Leech is ridiculous. Like, what the heck? At common too, imagine having 3 or 4 of Nemo Leech in your deck. So you reap and steal 2 for each one. It's pretty bonkers. But this Unfathomable is cool. So for the packets, Total Exhaustion. Let me see if we can see what that's all about. Total Exhaustion reads, Unfathomable will take advantage of an opponent caught sleeping. So it looks like our big Total Exhaustion cards here. We have Dirge of the Deep will do it, and then Storm Surge. We've also got the Sybil Waymare, the Chosen One, this other Dirge of the Deep, and Nightmare Inducer. Now I don't know if all of these cards are part of the packet. I mean, it might just be the 2 Dirges and the Nightmare Inducer, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is all 6 of these cards. Did I say all 5 before? I meant all 6. All 6 of these cards in the Total Exhaustion packet, but that is a lot of exhaustion. Perfect for Unfathomable. And then the DAV packet is, of course, we have the Rad Penny and the Shadowsmith with the Dark Ember Vault. And then Mutant Cutpurse and Dino Thief are both mutants as well. And then these 4 heckin' fiends over here are also all mutants with that amazing steal effect when they get destroyed. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of really good ways to destroy them. As you can see, this deck does lack board control. I mean, maybe 3 Fates could hit one of them, but I mean, I highly doubt that 2 power creatures are going to be on the agenda for 3 Fates. But yeah, this deck is also a lot of fun. I had fun playing this one as well. Let's move on to deck number 3. All right, so the token creature for Drendine here is Defender, and then the packets, we have Capture Chaos and Shadows Weapons. So starting it off with the Shadows here, we have Xenothief, Simon, double, Subtle Auto, double. Lots of Subtle Autos I'm noticing. Ronnie Wrist Clocks, Francis the Economist, Borrow, Merkins, double Long Fuse Mines, and then a Miasma Bomb with a capture pip. In the Sanctum we have Dino Knight, Sequus with a capture, Request Donations, Golden Aura, Champion Nafio, Spirit's Way, double Scrivener Fabian, double Free Markets, Oath of Poverty, Doom of the Martyr, And then in the Brobner, we have Press Gang, Might Club, Ganger Chieftain, and then sure enough, Drummer Knot. Make that 3 Drummer Knots, actually. So we super have the Ganger Knot combo. Big time. Bingle Bang Bang, Anger, Sound the Horns, War Grumpus double with the Grumpus Tamer. So, yeah, once again, we got some cool combos. Obviously, we got the Ganger Knot combo coming out in full force here. Some good bursts with the free markets. And then for these packets, so we have Capture Chaos, and then we have Shadow's Weapons. So the Capture Chaos, I believe, is the Scrivener Fabian combo that we've got going here. Capture Chaos, all your opponent's Ember will be captured. That's not a very helpful description of that. Obviously, all your opponent's Ember is going to be captured. Not very helpful in telling us which cards are included in that. But I think it's the Scrivener Fabian. And then probably like the Request Donations and the Sequus and stuff. But double Scrivener Fabian with those extra capture pips scattered around, you might be able to get some good steal off of that. And then Oath of Poverty with a ton of artifacts. So you'll notice that the Shadow's Weapons packet brought in these legacies, the double Long Fuse Mines and Miasma Bomb. So apparently those are weapons that Shadows uses, which makes sense. But the Oath of Poverty goes great with them. I mean, because that's like what, 1, 2, 3, let's see here, 3 still, 4. So it looks like there's 4 artifacts to go with that Oath of Poverty. So you could get some pretty good bursts with that. This was actually the first Menagerie deck that I opened at KeyForge Celebration. One of them was included in our little goodie bags, and like as soon as we sat down, we started opening our Menagerie decks. And this is the first one I opened, so I was super stoked to see all those legacies and the Ganger Knot combo and everything. The cool Oath of Poverty, bursty free markets, potentially bursty with the Steel Scrivener Fabian, Spirit's Way for board control. There is a tiny bit of that token generation with Request Donations and the Press Gang like we saw. And then the Shadows is cool as well. I love Merkins. Borrow is cool. In fact, a Borrow to take an enemy artifact and then blow it up with Oath of Poverty. So you not only get to destroy the artifact, but get rewarded for doing so. Ronnie. But yeah, this was a pretty fun deck. I enjoyed this one as well. Overall, Menagerie decks, just such a cool concept. Way cooler than Unchained. Like, I still love Unchained for the whole Maverick aspect, but I think just in general as a concept, Menagerie decks are way cooler, and I think they were executed better as well. So yeah, there we have it. So now you guys have seen all 4 Menagerie decks that I currently own. I know I do have some more on the way with the Gromaminders Game Found shipment. I'm looking forward to opening those with you guys. But yeah, I think that'll do it for day 8, I believe. I'm losing track here. Day 8 of KeyForge Christmas. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. We got a giveaway coming up on day 12. But yeah, you guys won't want to miss out on that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you all again in the next one. See you later.